Hello everybody, my name is Sticky and today I'm bringing you a guide on how to kill a Giga, an adult Giga, as a pack of Utahs. And I'm going to show you the most efficient and safest way to do it. To begin, Scory, go ahead and do a 1 call. Go ahead and do a 2 call. Go ahead and do a 3 call. And a 4 call. Alright, so if you guys watching, and ladies of course, if you're watching and you hear any of these calls somewhere in the forest, well, that's a free meal for you if you're a Utah. So just remember that. That's a free meal right here. Now, first and foremost, let's address the Giga hitbox. So, people think the Giga hitbox is broken, and in a way it is. But it is smaller. When the Giga is standing, the hitbox is smaller than the Rex. What I mean by that is, with the Rex, you'd have to be standing no further than between the legs. With the Giga, you can actually be in front of the legs. Go ahead and bite all over the place, Corey. I think that's a good demonstration. So I'd even push my limit a little bit further I should say, like over here, but at the same time I don't think anybody should ever be this far forward with the Giga, because the bites land as far back as over here. Step back a little. Right, so the bites land all the way behind the legs, so you should never be this far forward. So sometimes it's okay to go between the legs, but I mean, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be aiming for as far away from the head of the Giga as possible and from the hitbox. Now, this is a standing Giga and an ALTTurning Giga. That's basically going to be the hitbox, is forward of the legs. Now, when the Giga moves, however, the hitbox becomes janky. What I mean by that is, when a Giga stands, look forward. When the Giga stands, I can be this close to the head and not get bit. But when the Giga starts moving, so in this case, if it starts moving forward, for whatever reason, my theory is that the hitbox goes forward before the actual animation of the body does. So if a Giga sprints or walks forward, the hitbox is actually further forward. Now it's about approximately by 3 to 5 feet. So in this case, if the Giga is moving, I could get hit as far away as this. So with that in mind, you never want to be too close to a Giga in front of it, because if it starts moving, suddenly the hitbox jumps forward much further than the actual body. So never come too close in the front. And also left side. So when Giga moves left side, and by moves I mean it's walking or ambush walking or Z walking or sprinting, same thing applies with that forward kind of a jump with the hitbox. What I mean by that is, so on the right side, for whatever reason, the hitbox is going to stay the same as if it was standing. So you could be all the way over here and the Giga won't hit you while it's moving. But if it's moving and turning left on the other hand, the hitbox extends all the way to over here, so behind the legs. So you could get hit as far away as all the way over here. And if it's moving slowly in ambush, you could even get hit as far away as over here. But only when turning left. On the right side, the hitbox stays the same as if it's standing, which is right about here. Now, the safest way to kill a Giga. So, because of when it's moving, the hitbox, well actually let's start with one is just standing. One is just standing, you can go from either side, just go towards somewhere behind their legs. As you run through, you're just gonna do a little loop backwards, bite them, get out, just like this. And that's all you're gonna need to do. And that same thing is gonna be with the ALTTurn. If it's ALTTurning, just time your bites or time your approach for when it's, you know, facing at somebody else, another Utah, whatever, I don't know, a tree over there, a fish. And once you have this angle, you can just go in and exit towards the tail, meaning you never run straight through. You're always going to be running in a circle, which means you're going to be coming from behind and you're going to be exiting from behind. So as you go through, you simply turn. And that way, if it's ALTTurning one way or the other, you're staying as far away as possible from the head of it and the hitbox. But you should still be relatively safe when it's standing or ALTTurning, because the hitbox is just like all the way over here. So even if it turns on you and you end up going somewhere through here, you're completely fine. You shouldn't get hit. That's with the standing Giga or ALTTurning Giga. However, if it starts moving, and now that the hitbox on the left side becomes much further back, the only way you're going to be able to attack it safely without dying is from the right side. Always from the right side, and always only when it's turning right. What I mean by that is it's walking to the right. So Scory, go ahead and turn right, just like this. So when it's turning right, that's when you can go in for a bite. Go ahead and start biting. So just like that. So always attack from the right side and always go in only when it's turning right. If it starts turning left, go ahead and turn left. If you try to go in from the right side, let me get closer. I'll just wait for you to turn. If you try to go in, by the time you exit, the Giga is already there. The hitbox is already there and you're gonna get hit. You simply can't. Scory, once I run through, just stop. Like once I go, just keep turning left, and once I run through you, just stop. Go ahead and stop. So this is already, because she's turning, I'm already way inside her hitbox, because her hitbox while turning left is gonna extend all the way to over here. And by the time I go in, I'm already going to be in the hitbox. So the only safest way to attack a Giga is going to be from the right side while it's turning right. If it turns left, do not go in. You will die. It's only a matter of time. You might not die once or twice going in, but the next time or the time after that, you will die. And the same thing with attacking from the left. So go ahead and turn left, but don't bite. If you try to go in from the left, when you're going in, you are inside the hitbox, because it's so much further down the tail. When you try to go in from the left side, you are inside the hitbox and you will die. So never go from the left side. Go ahead and stop. So to recap, always from the right side, just behind the legs, and only when the Giga itself is turning right. So as a pack, that's all you're gonna do. You're gonna circle the Giga, and while the Giga is turning or ALTTurning or whatever it is it's doing, you're gonna be trying to go in. If it's just standing with an ALTTurn, well, you can attack from either side. You can attack from either side, just behind the legs, and exit towards the tail. But if it's moving and turning, just wait for it to get distracted by another Utah, and once it turns right, that's when you're gonna go in. Now, for riding, if it's a really bad Giga, and by that I mean it's gonna try to run away from you, it's not really gonna, you know, try to turn left or try to turn right, it's gonna just sprint around in a big circle. What you're gonna want to try to do, and again, this is not something I recommend because it's not as safe, because even a bad Giga might accidentally turn left and you're gonna end up on the left side of it, which is inside the hitbox, and you might die. So I do not recommend riding a Giga, but if you feel like it, if you're really good at it, then always stay on the right side and go for the right leg. So unlike the usual, which is, you know, the usual way to ride dinos would be somewhere in the middle of their body, you know, no, just stay all the way to the right, because even if it's gonna turn right now as I'm on the right side, by the time it turns right and bites me, I'm still in the safe zone, because the right side hitbox, you know, is all the way over here. Now, as usual, you can always, you know, try to attack, bite, or jump and attack, but I do not recommend that as well, because eventually the Giga is gonna realize that that's all you're doing, and when you jump, at some point it's gonna look up and bite, and you will die. So only reserve your jumps only for when you mess up. If you're accidentally running in and the Giga turns towards you and you do not have enough time to turn left or right, or, you know, to disengage, in that case simply jump over the head. It might not save you every time, but most of the time it's gonna save you. Now let's talk about Giga crouch. With the Giga crouch, I mean, you can always go for the same thing, just, you know, safe run through from the right side while it's turning right. But at the same time, bites on the Giga while it's crouched can land as far back as almost the tip of the tail. And it's not landing right now. Try turning, and I'll follow your tail. Turn the other way. Alright, so there's a rendering issue right now. For whatever reason, my bites are actually not landing on the tail. But take my word for it, when the Giga is crouched, you can land the bites as far back as here. So you don't even have to go for the body if you don't feel safe or whatever, or if it's a bad Giga, or if it's just kind of crouching forward, whatever the reason, you can go all the way as far back as here, and the bites will land. It's just this Giga is, I don't know, probably the colors messed up the server, because I mean, come on. Like, really? Really? So, oh, there you go, one landed. Oh, there we go, it's landing. Don't talk. Oh. Oh, when it, okay, in this case, it's only landing when she's biting. There we go. So for whatever reason, right now it's just landing only when she's biting. Oh no, there you go. Yep, it's landing now. So there you go. With the crouch Giga, you can even stay this far back and you'll be completely safe. Just don't stay on the left side if it's turning. Like if it's turning right now, go ahead and turn left. If you're gonna follow the tail, you are actually inside the hitbox. Like if you're trying to bite the tail right now, Scory, go ahead and stop. So you're actually kind of like your tail would be inside the hitbox right now, and the Giga will kill you. So if you're trying to follow the tail, only do it from the right side, don't do it from the left side. Because if I'm following the tail right now, my own tail is inside the hitbox, because the hitbox is all the way over here. If I'm gonna follow the tail, my tail is gonna be inside the hitbox and you'll die. So there you go, that's the safest way to kill a Giga, from the right side, behind the legs, exiting through the tail. And did I miss anything, Scary?
I don't think so.
Alright, well actually let's talk about stats. So a standing Giga, you're gonna need 42 bites to bleed it out. So once you land 42 bites, well, if it's in fast succession, if it's like slow, like, you know, a minute for example between bites, you're gonna need more bites than that, because the Giga is gonna heal the bite, heal the bleed, and then heal the actual damage, you know, to the health bar. So if it's in quick succession, you're gonna need 42 bites, and then you can disengage and let the Giga bleed out. But if it's a little bit slower, then you're probably gonna need to go for 50, maybe 60, 70 bites, depending how long the fight is. Now the terrain is, you kind of want to stay away from forested areas, like deep forests, because if you get stuck, the forests always benefit the one-shot dinos. So if a Giga gets stuck, well, that just means it's gonna get bit by you an extra time, which is, you know, one bite out of 42 bites. But if you get stuck on a tree, the Giga will one-shot you. So you kind of want to stay away from like places with a lot of rocks where you could get stuck, with trees, maybe buildings like port, for example, around those containers. So just kind of stay away from those areas, wait for the Giga to come out in the open, because it's just not worth dying to it, you know, getting stuck by a tree. Or sometimes even like not even stuck, sometimes trees actually like render push you away. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but trees and rocks sometimes will push you sideways, and that can end up, you know, you dying as well. And I think that's about it. 42 bites. Attack from the right side only when the Giga turns right. If it's alt-turning, you're safe to go in as far as over here, but I would not recommend it anyway because you don't need to. And that's about it. You guys have fun. Kill all the Gigas you can. Thanks, Corey.